We're going against the Dapper Slime. I already have my path picked out. So we're going to go along the right-hand side, take some elites and campfires, and we're going to go here, and we'll see what happens. These choices do not spark that much joy. I think I'm going to choose a card. Well, speaking of things that do not spark joy. Get to the boss so I can boss swap next time. Look at that. I clicked choose an option. I lost 6 viewers. See, they were only here for the rant. This guy's going to play the video game. Time to leave. Oh my god, I love streaming, dude. It's hilarious. Okay. I think I'm gonna skip. It's skip or Caltrops. We can take Caltrops and hope for the best. I think it's usually a bad idea, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip. Granted. Thanks, Meow. Gift granted. The real gift. The RSC with the tier 1 sub. Thank you very much for the love and support. Glad to see you hanging out and having a good time with us. Yeah, the real trick is to like spend an hour trying to min-max floor 0 and then you die to Gremlin Knob on floor 7. That's the real trick to playing the silent. It's close to home. Sure, I'll take a Noxious Fumes, because I like that card. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Caltrops just made the deck worse. It's not really good at any of these early fights. Oh. Oh. Oh my. Well, what an option. I do like a transform. Kind of. Somewhat true, Joeljob, because that's the secret technique. That's the hidden technique. That's the forbidden technique. Revealing on floor 0 a card reward screen increases your odds of getting better cards later on because you've seen a card reward screen, which has an effect. So the fact that we skipped or hit the skip button there, it's still a very small benefit to the run from that point forward. So it, you know, the downstream effect of taking what appeared to be a dead event. We take a transform and then die to Gremlin Knob right here? Yeah, let's do that. We got Strike Plus. Sucker Punch, I really hate Sucker Punch, but I guess we're glad it's here. It'll do something for us. Probably. That's what the Sucker Punch gang wants you to believe, though. Oh, yeah, I'm already in hot water for letting people know that Well-Laid Plans Plus triggers Runic Pyramid. You know, it's deep in the code. I think we like Dagger Throw. Actually, Dagger Throw and Flying Knee are better. Dagger Throw is probably better for the Slime Boss. Maybe slightly better for Sentries. Let's actually do a Sentries check. So we draw to 7 on turn 1. Then we draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 3, we cycle the deck. So this doesn't actually have the cycling effect that I maybe care about quite as much on that fight, but probably okay for Slime Boss. Really hate Dagger Throw as a card? Yeah. I think the issue with Dagger Throw and Flying Knee is they both feel like they fall off after Act 1, but it's those cards that you have to take to unlock Act 2. At least Flying Knee has an effect later on, but I still find myself rarely playing it. It's barely better than a strike, and you're also not prioritizing it as an upgrade. So I feel weird about both of these cards, honestly. Cloak and Dagger can have an effect if you get Kunai Shuriken, etc. after Image. Take the Flying Knee. I'm going to try that out. Making this sound say plus is very good for us. We've got a poison potion for whatever elite this is. I would take the Noxious Fumes upgrade probably only against Lagavulin, maybe Sentries. It could get us through the Sentries fight. Fumes is meant to be upgraded as soon as possible, for sure. I'm just kind of thinking through, like, if it's Gremlin Knob, basically, if we are okay with the Fumes upgrade in the Knob fight in particular. Right now, this phase of the game for me at Campfire 1 going into Elite 1 is trying to mitigate the amount of HP I lose against Gremlin Knob. That's basically where my mind is. We have 2 sources of weak, so I feel okay about that. Getting one of those to say plus would enable us to keep Gremlin Knob, or potentially Lagavulin, weakened for the majority of that fight. I think I like the Fumes upgrade. If I was thinking if it was Sentries or Lagavulin, I think this is just better. I think if we remove a Defend here over a Strike, again, just basically for Gremlin Knob. Balloon Brigade agrees. We have concurrence. Yeah. Okay, not too bad. Down to roughly half HP and a chance at a spooky ghost form. Well, okay. We will take a spooky ghost form as well as a pen nib. Now the real question now that you have spooky ghost form is what do you do with spooky ghost form? You prioritize the upgrade? I mean, we should, especially going into Act 2. But if this is Sentries or Lagavulin, do we care about the Wraith form upgrade right now? It gets awkward at times. Catalyst was certainly interesting because we have, or excuse me, I was going to say because we could potentially be going against Lagavulin. The awkward thing about Strike is it hardly does anything. But we lose 5 free block next turn. And we would only be taking half damage. I think we wait. We double the poison down if we wait. Catalyst, you're a little late, bud. Does not matter. Lose 2 HP against the Lagavulin. Chance at a dagger spray. So we have to upgrade Catalyst. Question is if we can afford to upgrade Dagger Spray. Probably. Yeah, exactly. With Pen Nib, Dagger Spray is really good. And I think it scales okay into Act 2 as well. 12 damage for 1. It's pretty good for the Silent. On an attack, anyway. And by the way, the Lantern pickup with Ring of the Snake is pretty top tier. Already feeling good about not doing a boss relic swap. Now, do we forgo an upgrade to visit a shop? We get 15 HP going into this elite. I think we take the upgrade. Ooh, this is tough. So of course we want to get Catalyst upgraded to make it way more impactful, even with just a Noxious Fumes. But I think the Dagger Spray is better for... If this is Sentries, this can be Sentries or Knob Round 2. Dagger Spray is better there. It's going to be better for the Dapper Slime fight. And like we just said, we have Pen Nib, which we can set up pretty reliably. Alright, it is Sentries. Just no block on turn 1. Sweet. So, I mean, we clearly block out this turn, but a bad draw... Like, a bad draw next turn, and we're down to 4 HP, and then the following turn we could just die. It comes down to draw a lot. Whereas I think by the time we draw around to Dagger Spray, like, this poison is going to tick for a lot. We don't even have to worry about the front sentry if we just Wraith Form here. It is 3 more days, for sure. It's a tough call. Yeah, I think we Wraith Form. Mostly because we can time it, and now we can prioritize which sentry to kill next. Oh, this is huge. We could just end the fight now, but we don't get to set up Pen Nib hardly at all. I wonder if we do that. I don't know. So next turn we're intangible, this one's attacking, then we're not intangible and this one's attacking. So if we were to not set up Pen Nib or not try to get a few more ticks on Pen Nib, at most we could get, well, we couldn't even get 5 more because of all this poison. Yeah. I don't think we can afford to wait on Pen Nib. We'll get to 1. Let's pick up a Sneck-O Skull. Oh my dog. Massive going into the slime boss fight with Obnoxious Fumes. Infinite Blades is cute for Pen Nib, but we'll skip it because it's garbage. Dude, a banana here, I believe, allows us to upgrade the catalyst. Huge. Huge. One decent defend card and call this a good Act 1. I would argue that the Wraith Form and the Wraith Form upgraded is probably one of the best offensive and defensive upgrades that you could get in the Silence Kit. Getting 1 extra turn to do whatever you want, it's huge. It's 4 free turns. The turn you play it, 2 more where you're intangible, and then the following turn where you're finally taking damage. So we got like the best defensive card we could have hoped for with ease out of Act 1. Ooh. Next turn is ugly. So we don't have weak for next turn either. Maybe we should colorless potion. Unless we go for the fear potion, which I kind of doubt. This goes to 18. Plus 18, plus 14. 36, 50? Like barely a split. If I could spawn any food in front of me, what would I summon? I ate right before the stream. I'm not very hungry. Can I cheat and say that I would take Dad's apple juice instead? It's a lot of carbs. It's kind of a snack. Summon a burrito. No, I used to get burritos from Chipotle all the time, and then I realized that, like, a significant percentage of the calories in said burrito, or yeah, said burrito was from the burrito itself. Hey JJ, it's a good day over here. Hope all is going well for you, too. What are the good deep breath hits? Well, I would say that the probable deep breath hits are slimed, but we have a roughly 2 in 15 or 1 in 15 and 1 in 14 chance of pulling a source of weak. So if we could pull just Neutralize or Sucker Punch, that would be a top tier block card for us. Or honestly, we could. Well, we can't Panacea Wraith Form, so we don't Wraith Form here. Yeah, honestly, I think just a source of weak would be huge. So I'm thinking we could take Panacea either for the turn after the split to block weak or frail, or just to play Wraith Form sometime in the near future and not feel bad about it. Or yeah, we take Flash of Steel for like a Pen Nib charge and try to roll for the source of weak. The Pen Nib is pretty good. And then if we wanted to... Oh, if we wanted to, we could have done the Fear Potion and then gotten a split with Pen Nib. It's not very good, but it's a split. Saves a lot of HP. I certainly like Flash of Steel more than I like Deep Breath, considering where the slimed cards in this fight end up. They end up in your discard pile. Having something like Deep Breath in the deck in general is just actively bad for this fight, because you're shuffling the new slimed cards. Even in the next phase, you're shuffling the new slimed cards into your draw pile, making this probably the worst choice here by far. Panacea has a use. Already talked about it with Wraith Form and Frail and Weak. But I think because we have Pen Nib, Flash of Steel is the choice that I'm going to go with. Neutralize or Sucker Punch? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was most likely, to be fair. Ooh, that's ugly. This is okay. This is okay. We have Wraith Form coming around for the inevitable 30 damage we'll take next turn. Okay odds at getting it, I guess. Told you. Excuse me, 36. 36. My mistake. Look at these jokers. Look at these jokers. I was one turn off. This is the 30 damage turn, or whatever. Okay. Good job, Wraith Form. So, I mentioned this earlier in Redbeardy's stream, but I was like, the stats on silent runs that, okay, first of all, do or don't run into Gremlin Knob. So here's the stats. Stats on making it to Act 2. That's it. Just making it to Act 2. If the silent does or does not run into Gremlin Knob, and importantly, does or does not face the slime boss, because both of those events, both of those encounters, are like disproportionately difficult for the silent. And Venom is twice as good with Snecko Skull. It's a fair point with Noxious Fumes, Catalyst, and Wraith Form. It actually gets to be pretty good. And we have a good application in Dagger Spray. That said, we would have to take Envenom to get Envenom in the deck. And that's a huge downside of Envenom, is having to have it in your deck. The Envenom effect is pretty cool, but the card itself, if we're stuck on 3 energy, Envenom always feels terrible. Unless we make it say plus, and then I feel pretty good about it. Adrenaline is always good. I mean, we're always going to have reasons to want Adrenaline in the deck. It scales. It always scales with this silent. Maybe the one instance where it doesn't is when you take Snecko Skull, but even if you upgrade it, it's usually worth playing Adrenaline to draw the 2 cards and gain 2 energy with Snecko Skull. Like, it's such an amazing card. It's terrible beta art, though. What is that? It looks like a lockpicking kit over here. Is this just like a thieves kit? A generic thieves kit? Maybe we try Envenom, because normally I wouldn't take Envenom, but I kind of like it with Snecko Skull and Dagger Spray and Catalyst already in here. and Wraith form. We'll try it out. Oh. Yoink. Okay, we don't need to talk about why Runic Pyramid's good. We'll just move on. Just take Runic Pyramid. Let all your worries on the silent wash away. Okay, outside of having Snecko Skull, there has to be, like, very, very few instances where you do not take Runic Pyramid on the silent. It has to be... There's another stat line. How many of the silence runs win with Runic Pyramid? But it'd be skewed stats. I want to know the impact of Runic Pyramid on a silent run, because I know it's huge. Why are my at messages not showing up bold? I see them. I see at FirstDane, but I don't. They're not red. They used to be red, so I don't want to miss any anyway. Why is Runic Pyramid so good? Well, I think in the game, in most situations, Runic Pyramid is one of the best boss relics, hands down. And it comes down to, I believe, at least in brief, the basic principles of like deck building games in general, where it comes down to basically draw and retain. So they were talking about the Watcher. One of the Watcher's more powerful impacts is the retain mechanic as well. So you have block on demand, damage on demand whenever you need it. So you take this big risk by going into Wrath, and then you have all these retained attacks or whatever. Same idea with Runic Pyramid in that, you know, especially let's just take a card like Wraith Form, because it's the perfect example. Usually we're looking to play Wraith Form on a turn. And how can we make sure that happens? Well, with Runic Pyramid. So this is always going to be here. Most cards are taken in Slay the Spire for a specific reason or to counter something in particular. So if we have that card in hand, then we can play that card basically on the optimal turn. So it's optimization of your deck. It's also two things. It's card draw, and it's positive card draw, and it's negative card draw. The negative card draw is more complicated. Positive card draw, because cards that stay in our hand don't have to go into our discard pile, and we don't have to draw them again. So they're here. Yay. Usually. Negative card draw is preventing your deck from shuffling. So if you have a bunch of, say, voids on the defect or something like that in your discard pile, or like Grand Finale on the silent, you can purposely hang on to cards to draw fewer of them, preventing you from drawing 5 at a time. But you have other things here to do. So in terms of card draw, it has to be one of the most powerful relics in the game, because cards that you don't play don't go into your discard pile, so they're effectively drawn again the next turn. Right? So it's like tremendous in power in terms of card draw. And the negative card draw is a bit more niche, it's a bit more nuanced, but I think it's super, super important too. So I don't know if that like totally answers the question, but that's where my mind goes. Flannel Violin, happy evening to you, my friend. Yeah, like, I mean, there's any number of examples. Like, let's say on the Ironclad and you want to play Feed on the perfect turn. Well, what if it was just always in your hand, so you could always play Feed on the perfect turn? Or you want to hang on to, like, Reinforced Body on the defect, so you can always play Reinforced Body on a giant attack turn. Like, you always basically have that card there for you. So, yeah, there's a lot more subtle, nuanced reasons, like enabling the Silence discard deck or whatever. But, yeah, the basic idea is that it's truly phenomenal in terms of card draw, which you kind of have to change your thinking a little bit to understand, because the act of not discarding the cards is in effect drawing them again next turn. So you have, you know, more than 5 cards per turn always, usually. And then negative card draw is maybe more complicated. see, this does 6. 6. These do 4. Oh, that was wrong. Dang it. That was wrong. We weren't supposed to defend there. We were supposed to play Sucker Punch here. I saw it right as I did it. I saw it right as I played defend. No! So Sucker Punch makes us do 0 times 6, which would have been 1 more block than this. Hey, 0% sneaky. Thank you very much. Okay, game. Okay, game. Bouncing Flask Plus, making me regret the Envenom even more. Wait, who's the boss, by the way? One champ? Interesting. Hey, I didn't say Envenom was bad, specifically. I said it made me regret my decision. But also it's bad. So there. No, I don't know. I feel like I see other people take Envenom way more than I do, and I never really understand why. I don't really get it, honestly. Yeah, pellets for Wraith form is definitely a thing, for sure. I could see myself taking that. I could see myself taking Apotheosis, removing a card. I don't know if I want to buy a Prepared, but Prepared is here and really important with Runic Pyramid 3 energy things. Yeah, I figured with this instance, having Snecko's Skull was going to be one of those times where maybe Envenom saw some play. I mean, we'll see. We basically just need to set it up on turn 1 and be allowed to set it up on turn 1 with Lantern and Ring of the Snake. Maybe it happens. It kind of needs to say plus so we can play it on 3 energy later. Playing this on 2 energy later on in a fight is just so unrealistic. If we're thinking about the Gremlin Leader, the Book of Stabbing, or the Tri-Slavers, playing Envenom for 2 energy against those enemies is just... Like, wouldn't we just always play Bouncing Flask instead? Even if we didn't have Snecko's Skull. Let's pretend we don't have Snecko's Skull, because Snecko's Skull makes Bouncing Flask plus just obscene. Who's our boss? Champ? Let's take pellets. And for sure take a card remove as well. Stinky Strikes. Stinky Strikes. This Prepared, it's kind of a head scratcher though. I'm not sure about Prepared. The nice thing about Prepared is it actually goes along with what we were talking about with Runic Pyramid, because it's negative card draw. So you play the card, it draws one, and you have to discard one. So it's net -2 cards after you draw, which is actually really important with Runic Pyramid on 3 energy, so you can keep the deck cycling around to whatever is most impactful for you, which is probably going to be our Bouncing Flask Plus at this point. And maybe... No, it's Bouncing Flask Plus at this point. Maybe Dagger Spray. Buying Prepared, investing 54 Spire bucks in Prepared feels terrible because it's a common card. We're probably going to see one soon. Yeah, I think we'll hang out to our money there. This is still an easy pool fight, obviously. Get a few more hits on our pen nib there. Backstab. Backstab is a little weird. We don't really want to be drawing it. It is a hit for pellets for free. It's very good, especially with a Wraith Form around. It helps a bit on Trislavers, helps a bit on Gremlin Leader. Helps a bit on, like, Reptomancer. Do have Pen Nib for it as well. Not really like how we're hoping to scale, but it could help us with some otherwise unfavorable turn ones. Let's try it out. Ugh. We are very high on HP. No, it's the principle of the thing. I hate that event. We are using Wraith Form soon. I just want to delay like a turn or two, basically. And we'll use our backstab here too, so we can draw 5 next turn. Senko Skull's a crazy relic, especially with these cards that we have now. Noxious Fumes, 4 poison per turn. It's almost an unupgraded deadly poison per turn. And Bouncing Flask is even more insane than that. I feel anyway. It becomes 4 times 4 poison. Whew. Ouch. Alright, decent fight. Especially for a hard pull fight. And a Piercing Whale is a snap pick. And that was next to Prepared, but Piercing Whale with Runic Pyramid, you would have a hard time taking too many Piercing Whales with a Runic Pyramid. I think we're good for this Empowered Elite. Usually I avoid them in Act 2, but just picking up a Piercing Whale now, Wraith Form, Catalyst, Snecko Skull, Pen Nibbed, Dagger Spray potentially, or just Backstab. Super, super good. Max HP Slavers, okay. Well. Blast, the only card that scales multiple times per hit with Snecko Skull. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, unless you want to count like stupid stuff like burst poison cards. I don't think that counts though, because it's playing the same card twice. You're off on killing this one still. We might want to double down on the potions, because this fight's so bad. Try to pull like one more attack to effectively block 14 here. Yes. Should have done this first. Alright, mistakes were made. We could have done Pen Nib, Dagger Spray this fight if I thought that far ahead. Finally, this Noxious Fumes. That's what I've been waiting for. Okay, take 3 more. I think now that we have the Noxious Fumes in play, we're pretty safe to just Wraith Form here. Yeah. So it's a bit more efficient to go on this one, but we're not going to have a hard time killing this guy over 3 turns anyway, so maybe we'll try to save the 1 HP here. Check out this Envenom though. What are you doing, bud? We can't get it in play. Eternal Feather just in time. Chance at a riddle with holes with our Envenom. Now, if you ever want to apply some Envenom with Snecko's Skull, you do it with Riddle with Holes. Yeah, that fight went really well, mostly because we had the Wraith Form Plus, but also we went double deep on our potions to get through that fight too, so the fact that we had 2 potions going into that fight made me feel pretty cozy about taking it. The issue with Riddle with Holes is that it's only effective if we have Envenom in play, and otherwise it's largely a dead draw. So for that reason, I kind of hate it. This is like Acrobatics or Skip. I don't like Acrobatics on 3 energy, but sometimes saves us from a turn 1. And again, all the extra cards that we draw from Acrobatics are going to be held in our hand, allowing us to cycle back around to stuff. Not that we're like dumping our hand. Usually if the hand is clogged beyond turn like 2. Yeah, and Venom Riddle does do things in the champ fight, I guess, but we already have like a Bouncing Flask Plus. I think I'd rather always play and draw Bouncing Flask Plus faster than doubling down on Envenom plus Riddle with Holes. It is very cool. It's a cool thing that we could maybe do sometimes. It's 10 poison. 15 damage plus 10 poison for 2 energy. I think the issue is that the deck is getting really expensive. Well, it would be getting expensive. It's not expensive right now, but it would be. 3/2 costs on 3 energy. What's the upgrade so terrible? Why is this a thing? That's a good question. Do you think Riddle with Holes would be better if this went to 3 times 6? If this was strictly for the multi-attack. So that's an extra +3 damage. So versus +4. Wait, +5? +5 damage. So it would have to be like 3 times 7 for it to be a small buff. Because currently I feel like Riddle with Holes is so bad. Take the acrobatics. Oh, okay. Okay, game. Okay. We will upgrade the Envenom so we can actually play it. And then... Ooh. Bottle Tornado to always get Noxious Fumes in play on turn 1? What? I feel like this shop is so bad for us to go to. We get a heal. We get a hard pull fight, an event. I want this elite here too. Might be too safe though. We've got 2 potions. We're only looking for a card here. Now let's look. A Boule time on sale. Worth it. Okay, game. Okay, this is too nice. Take a Horn Cleat for free. Okay, I was hoping for the Dagger Spray or something, but... Honestly, we got like way too much healing. We got Eternal Feather and a Meal Ticket. Oh, this is insane. Think about this one. This one doesn't die by next turn. Or we could just Bouncing Flask. And take 1. We do have Eternal Feather anyway. Yeah, I think this is just better. Oh, it was better. Good hits. Skill Potion and a Leg Sweep? Sure. Now, this is important. When offered a new potion of the same time that you already have in your potion belt up here, you should take the new one. So we discard the old one, we take the new one. The old one was closer to its expiration date, so this one's more likely to give us something beneficial than the other one. Yeah, really important. Hey, Funder. Poison cards? Please, sir? think we got him. Look at this, way too much healing. Gross. Oh, pen nib. You have a white bee statue and a malaise. Sure. How about we make malaise say plus on it? All right, let me start this fight. I'm going to take a quick break before we go through it. And, well, actually, maybe I'll do the fight real quick. I don't think it'll take too long. But I do need to take a break here. So it doesn't matter. Turn 2 is solved by our friend Horncleat. Thank you very much, Horncleat. Oh, wait, but this says 20 on it. We'll do it this way, then. Now the question is, dump the strikes. We get 1 poison applied, we lose our pen nib, or we go next turn. I think we want the card draw here. And I want to hang on to these defends. Alternatively, we could just malaise, since we have Wraith Form anyway. Oh, we could strike malaise. I don't think malaise matters in this fight too much. Took damage. All right, we are at the halfway point. We're at the halfway point next turn, so I think we just Wraithform Catalyst win. I don't even really need the Wraith Form, because we just win. But this causes us to take 1 damage. We would have to draw into block. Alright. I guess we'll take 1. And work on pen nib. Oh, bullet time. I'm so sorry. Good enough. Feeling good, feeling strong. Die, glass knife, doppelganger. No. Die is pretty good for a Reptomancer, though. And some Jawworm things. It's like okay. And we have a pen nib for it, too. And we didn't pick up the Corpse Explosion. Okay, well, I guess if we don't have Corpse Explosion, maybe we want the die for the floor fights. In Act 3. Sure. Ew. Actually, we can make Choker work. Even though we have bullet time here, we can make Choker work. I don't think that's an issue. These two are just bad. Maybe if we had 2 more copies of Bullet Time, we could make a Snecko Eye work. And that would be cool, but it's got to be Choker. All right, let me start this act, and I will be right back. All right, sorry, friends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. All right, what do we got to do here? We have our emerald key piece. That is great. Campfires and shops are tremendous sources of HP for us. Good amount of resource coming from those. I'd like to go to this late shop. I don't like that this is bottlenecked here. I mean, this is kind of a spicy path. Kind of. We do need to recall as well. At most, I believe we can only take... No, we could take 3 elites if we really wanted to. Maybe we take this as, like, a card remove. My fear for these campfires is that, honestly, they're almost too much value for us at this point. Like, we get healing, we get a card reward, we have to recall. So this, like, amount of healing that goes through this path is, like, too much. But I don't think I should judge that path based off of that. If we take an early card remove here, the other fear is that this ends up being a dead node. But if it is, if we don't have enough money, we can go this way, I suppose. Otherwise, we try to take 3 elites. Nah, no. Okay. Now, to not take damage. Think things through. Think things through. Yeah, that was poor play. I can't control Arena. They're too strong, even for me. We get another tick on our pen nib. Yeah. Decent. Decent. That's a cunning potion and some stuff. Hey, Timnos, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And hand-on zone. You guys, thank you very much. Thank you. What was it, 7 months? Whew. A long time, my friend. Thank you very much. I mean, we have a Wraith form. And a Boule time. And I was just talking about how this is too much healing for us. This would be a nice way for us to trade away some HP for value. Alright, I want to spend a second on this turn before I start playing some cards. So of course we have to get Noxious Fumes in play. I believe we always play Acrobatics as well. Maybe Envenom, though I don't think we really need it. We should draw first. Okay, so we know that this is always happening. We have 4 more cards that we can play. Probably 3 defends and a neutralize. Meaning that we discard Venom? Two Noxious every time? I don't think we need that. We'll see. I'm more deciding like what I want to discard here, either Envenom or Backstab. That's kind of tough for me. Exactly. We draw Wraith form in, well, it could be more than 3 turns actually, because we get these burns added. Okay. believe we're discarding Envenom here. Actually, I don't even think we need the bullet time here. So we can go like this, this. No kidding. Yeah, if we didn't get the Wraith form that early, it's going to be a little spooky. Hey, it's a build your own corpse explosion in the specimen. Whenever an enemy dies, transfer any poison it has to a random enemy. We're going against Donu and Deka. That'll do. Okay, I like this. We get closer to specimen value. Now this turn, I was going to say could be a little spooky. Don't think we need to Wraith form because we have the Piercing Whale, Survivor, and Malaise here. All right, that should be the fight. It's a Distilled Chaos Acrobatics Plus. Does say plus on it. And we have a Boule time in here. Though I'm going to say we don't really need it. Skip. We do have an unupgraded Acrobatics in here. But no. And I like our potions. Outmaneuver with Malaise and Pyramid. Yeah, I tend to, admittedly, I tend to undervalue Malaise by a lot. And, like, I'm aware that I do it, but I can't stop doing it. I just don't really value it that much at all. Take a Catalyst. I think we want this footwork for all those times where we don't have Wraith form. Undervalue outmaneuver. Like, I think in the context of Runic Pyramid and Ice Cream, like, usually I'm looking at outmaneuver when I have Ice Cream. I should probably think about it more when I have Runic Pyramid, but yeah, I don't know. Possible to undervalue outmaneuver. Yeah, I don't like it. This is not Mind Bloom, by the way. I was told this would be a nice Mind Bloom. Didn't have to worry about it. Now, we don't have this is kind of interesting. So if we had Toxic Egg and Madness was free, I wonder if we would take it. The unfortunate thing about Madness is that you have to draw it. Less so about the cost. So probably not, but like we can afford the HP. We're getting healed right away. Like, we already have a Boule time. We're on 4 energy. We've got Wraith form. I don't know what we're trying to make cheaper at this point. It would just be like a random defend, most likely. Strike or something. A lot of this stuff that we have in here says exhaust on it, too. Backstab, Piercing Wail, Catalyst. We have powers that play once. Malaise, die. I think, yeah, Madness doesn't even have any good targets here. I just so hate this event because you're just always losing max HP. But I guess it is what it is. We'll recall now. Just in case we fight Reptomancer and she's a big meanie. We can skill potion next turn, probably, because we're drawing 5. Okay. I'll try. I'll try to get her. Let's see what's in the box. It's a pretty good box. You, sir, are solved. All of these daggers die. We have to count for 10 more damage only. We have defend here. Actually, what's the base here? Is it 15? Is it 15 base? No. 16 base? 16 base. So if we were to reduce this by 5, it'd be 11 times 0.75. So 16 damage. We would take 2 if we just malaise here. Oh, I guess Nib Spray would have been more damage to Reptomancer. Honestly, my mind's already past needing to do damage to Reptomancer because we have 2 Catalysts coming up, and I'm just not worried about it. Wait, actually, you know what? I didn't notice. I don't think this specimen works with Snecko Skull, does it? I actually don't know that. Whenever an enemy dies, transfer any poison it has to an enemy. So is transfer the keyword there? I didn't really notice. It does? So it got +4 poison there? Is that correct? Gross. So good. A whetstone catalyst. $27 poison on the board when the creatures all died. How about that? That's good value. I mean, we're already at damage cap. Like, upgrading these catalysts doesn't feel like it matters that much. Yeah, Tubal, you said exactly what was on my mind. I'm thinking about this footwork more so we can just sustain while the poison ticks away. Maybe it's a relevant proc for orange pellets too? We have the Sapphire Keys, say Triforce complete, and remove a strike here? Okay, well, obviously Sucker Punch. And maybe we prioritize the Leg Sweep upgrade. Six, 7, 8. Wait, I need the patch notes. What did we decide on this? It did or it did not? Wow. You gotta love these silent runs that just kind of play themselves. Like, apply the poison directly to the forehead and then play Wraith Form. Like, over. Skull affects the transfer. Cool. I could honestly see that going either way because of the keyword transfer on the specimen. Like, this here, transfer, could have very easily meant something different than whenever you apply poison. Like, I could... That's a very Slay the Spire-y thing that could have happened there. Wait. We were supposed to go that way, I think. Oh god. 2 autopilot. 2 autopilot. I was thinking if we could get the kill here. I think it's unlikely. Maybe. Okay, we're working on... Oops. God, the DPI on my mouse went insane. Do you see that? So fast. That's for when I play FPS. It's not. It's not at all for when I play FPS. Yo, we killed the transient. Sweet. Achievement unlocked. Oh, pen nip. Got him. Chance to put a Liquid Memories and a Deflect Plus with a Footwork Plus in here as well. And Runic Pyramid, we take Deflect Plus. I think Liquid Memories might actually be better value than Fear Potion, because we could play Bouncing Flask, Liquid Memories, and then Catalyst, potentially the Heart, if we make it there, to max Poison in very short order. Killing? Oh, that's a good point. I think killing Transient is easier on the higher Ascensions. is a valid point. Should be able to get out of this fight without actually playing an attack. Yep. Save our pen nib, I guess. Imagine being the giant head, knowing that we just came from killing the transient. Like, what are you gonna do, dude? Nothing. Nothing. Sure, we'll take an after image. An upgrade on something. I don't really know what. I think leg sweep is an okay upgrade target. Boule time could be okay. I don't think, no, we don't want that with Velvet Choker. Second Catalyst could be good for Dono and Deca, though. But no, we have Specimen. That's already solved. I actually love the Orichalcum pickup, considering we have Wraith Form, so we can just play Wraith Form and then not take damage, but After Image makes Wraith Form worse, for sure. It's definitely a thing. Yes, I should have played Die 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 there. Maybe we save it. No. I am a little tongue-tied tonight. It's, you know, I think it's, like I've said before, it's like an issue with like having to work and then try to stream at the end of a workday is a bit tiring, you know? I feel like we could malaise here to take 0, but we might want the weak next turn for Deca, where we're potentially not blocking very much at all. And we'll take the 3 here. Well, Catalyst is here. Let's see, we doubled or tripled to 15, 30, 60. We're taking a lot more damage here than I thought we would. Yeah, I think we're for sure waiting on the Catalyst. Going to 60 it's just not good enough. We can win over 2 turns if we just wait like a couple more turns. I know how that sounds, but it makes sense. Okay, so we should think about it on these terms. So we have basically 4 turns to win now. Or we could just remove the Dex down effect right now. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, we should just do that, and then I don't have to think about it. Yay! My Bouncing Flask, come on! It's like been waiting for Bouncing Flask largely to play these Catalysts, but I think we're good to go this turn. And we'll start setting up pen nib. Good job, Specimen. One more attack. Yeah. I think we're hoping for like Time Eater here. We do have melees for this fight. We should see, I think we want 2 powers down. Footwork and Noxious Fumes. And with those 2 down, we should be able to slow roll the fight. That's going to put the Bird with Arms at +6 strength. So we would have to melees for... Well, we'd have to melees on turn 1 here, which we can't do. Because we never get 5 energy after this. So I believe we always do this. We don't play After Image. We don't probably need that. Oh, true. We do have Flying Knee. That's right. Angry. I think of all the boss fights, well, see, there's a lot of them that I don't like, but the Bird with Arms being maybe chief among them. Let's see, this is 60, 30, wait, 36? Mostly because the fight ends up like droning on for so long. So we could choose to take 4 or 10 damage here. The issue is that we take an extra 5 next turn. That we can probably kill with... we get close to killing with a Catalyst next turn, if we have to. I really don't mind using my Catalyst in turn, or the first phase in this fight. They tend to like clog up your hand, especially with Runic Pyramid, and you have to keep drawing them. That's the secret to the Bird with Arms fight. Is the idea, I think, behind this fight is that all of your powers are supposed to transform into curses for this fight because you're being de-incentivized to play them. So it's affecting your card draw, basically. So removing cards that say exhaust on them become almost as important as removing your powers. Why not just kill the first bird? So that's what I'm thinking about. So the first bird's going to die next turn to Noxious Fumes. So we're deciding if we need to kill the first bird this turn, or if we want to set up the middle bird to die next turn. Because it's effectively blocking 6 this turn or 5 next turn, since this is going to gain 5 strength. I'm going to transfer the poison first. But there's going to be 2 targets for the poison to transfer to. Because we could Catalyst the front bird now, kill that, strike the middle one. Transfers 12 poison to either the middle bird or the Bird with Arms. Yeah, if we strike it, we get an early transfer. It's true. It stacks faster. It's just we want it to go to the middle bird, but we can never guarantee that. I think this is always the correct play, because we're not blocking out enough this turn anyway. Okay, I went here. That kind of sucks. And notably, I did see that this went from 4 poison to 9. So yeah, Snecko Skull definitely works, as confirmed earlier. The real issue becomes this cultist. And next turn in general. So next turn is both the multi-attack, and this one's going to be saying 11. We don't know what we're drawing. We do have potions here, so we could pull back whatever. But next turn's kind of a big problem. So we're missing out on 8 damage this turn if we don't Catalyst here. Agreed that waiting a turn to apply Catalyst would be really nice. I don't know how much it matters, honestly. We're just trying to get through these first few turns, and then the rest of the fight should hopefully play itself once we're set up. Like I said earlier, a lot of our cards say exhaust on them or our powers, so assuming we can thin the deck down and just get around to block cards and weak, sources of weak, we should be able to survive the rest. So I'm really tempted by this early Catalyst. Brings it to 12, or what will be 24 or 26 damage. So we would have to account for 4, 5, 6 damage next turn. We should be able to do. If we wait until next turn, you take 4, you go to 28. Then we triple the poison. 6, 18. So we'd have to account for 10 next turn. Counting for 10 next turn is way more difficult. We'd have to actually Liquid Memories back Dagger Spray if we don't Catalyst this turn. Otherwise, we just need Strike. More value next turn? Well, in the long term of the fight it is, but not for next turn. So if we Catalyst this turn, it takes basically, let's say, 24, 26 damage over 2 turns. Like I said, this cult is effectively on 8 HP for next turn. If we don't Catalyst this turn, goes to... Oh, actually, it's on 7 because of Snecko. And then we account for that with Strike plus... Gotta die. Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of leaning towards, is like waiting is, I don't know about greedy, but it's up there for sure. Let's have to deal with energy. Yeah, next turn is rough. All right, we'll wait one more turn. Okay. Well, we did get the Piercing Wail, and we have Flying Knee. So those are good things. Okay, so we block for 6. We're taking 10. If we wanted to block for more than 10, we would have to both play Footwork and pull back Deflect. Altus has made it a long way. It's done well for itself. You make more money as a leader, but you have more fun as a follower. Block density to Wraith form into full malaise this phase. Good as tripling the bird? This is an unupgraded catalyst. If you're talking about doubling this one, so it transfers at double, we would just wait till next turn and then get the extra poison on top of it to double that. I don't believe we use liquid memories here, because we would both have to footwork on top of it to then block for slightly more. Well, the good news is that Leg Sweep is here, and Neutralize is coming around, so we didn't draw a Source of Weak in the first cycle through the deck, so that was especially difficult for us, but now we should be able to cycle somewhat faster. Also didn't get Die in the first. Whatever. When the birds were up. Legitimate Wraith turn with Cleanse to go into full malaise. It's going to be really difficult for us to line up the full malaise because Flying Knee's over here. Plus we want to play Footwork, so we're then playing 2 powers to deal with the bird. The plan was always to play this Footwork. Yeah, I think the block density will be fine when we get After Image and Malaise and Catalyst. Once we get all these things that say Exhaust out of the deck, like, we're always drawing block. So I don't think that's a problem. And Envenom, if I didn't say Envenom. Well, we have 2 weak sources. We have Neutralize and Leg Sweep Plus. So by the time, like, we have, what, 8, 17, 24 cards? 5 block, that's already accounted for. And we haven't played all the things that exhaust. Yeah, it's like between Wraith form and not. I feel like the issue is like we already account for all of this block by playing Footwork. Probably even through the multi-attack. And I also don't believe that we kill before Wraith form runs out. So we'd have to deal with an 8 strength bird with arms for a few turns. And if we happen to land on a multi-attack, I think we would be very close to dying, even with weak, because we don't have Paper Crane. Dick and Rico, Twitch Prime for 12 months. Thank you so much, my friend. You are one of a very few people who has the famous 12-month badge. Thank you very much for the long-standing support, my friend. much. All right, I'm going to believe because I see the vision, and I think it also is a winning line. I think I agree with you, Redbeardy, that it's a winning line, considering maybe we don't play footwork. Though that feels a little awkward, but it could be a thing. Mostly because I want to get Wraith Form out of my hand. I want to keep drawing cards. That's kind of a big deal. And the issue right now is we don't have any way to cycle a lot of these cards. 3 of them are powers. So getting at least 1 out of the hand is kind of a big deal. Why are we playing bullet time? To get out of the hand, basically. We want to make room to draw other stuff. We need to cycle the deck. You can see a lot of our block is now concentrated to the discard pile because we've been using it so much to mitigate the first portion of this fight. And what's coming up is not cards that say block, besides this one. So we need to cycle the deck quickly. And we can't do that if we have junk in our hand. Yep, we picked up pellets pretty early on. So, if you happen to miss that, I wouldn't be too surprised. It was pretty early on. I think we're there, but I don't want to do math. We're there. Okay, so for next phase, we have footwork. We have a source of weak, potentially an after image or something like that. We'll take 5 energy into next turn, since we have all these powers to play. $41, my guy. Whew. Okay. So this is 27.35. Yeah, we can after image here. With ease. Oh my dog. I don't know if I'll ever get used to that. Baylor Lord and the Baylor Bunch. Welcome on in, friends. I'll try not to play anything right now because I'm distracted. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for the grats. Really appreciated. It's nice to have that behind me. Welcome on in. This is actually the first run of the evening, so you guys are coming in like on the tail end, the exciting part of what's been, say, like largely a routine silent run. We're only on 29 cards. We've got your classic Snecko Skull Runic Pyramid thing going on. We picked up the Specimen late, and believe it or not, we've got 3 Catalysts, a Noxious Fumes, a Bouncing Flask, and a Wraith Form. So, you know, just classic silent things. If we can just draw the cards we need, we should be fine for the W. So that's the idea. We're just trying to draw into the combo. We're hanging on to Duplication Potion and Liquid Memories. Got Orange Pellets, if I didn't say that, for Wraith Form. And that's it. That should be the fight. That should be the fight. But yeah, we're just wrapping up. This is our second boss. You can see we're on floor 51. So we fought Donu and Deka first with our poison-based thing in our build your own corpse explosion and specimen, so I think we take one here. We have both Eternal Feather and a meal ticket, by the way, so we've had like phenomenal sources of healing outside of resting at campfires, so we've just been able to prioritize upgrades for the majority of the run. Do we want a catalyst here? This goes to 44 versus trying to do it after a bouncing flask, which is what I'd prefer to do. We take one here, though. Thank you guys very much for the follows, by the way. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, we had we had one kind of scary turn there where we may have run short on block, but from here on out, I mean, the fight's basically over. We'll just work on getting Pen Nib to 9, and, well, as close as we can get anyway. Ready to get neutralized? Nice. Sweet. Move on to Act 4 with 142 Spire bucks. We've been hanging out of these 2 potions for the majority of Act 3 as well. So the idea with Liquid Memories is that we can potentially just Bouncing Flask, Liquid Memories Bouncing Flask, and then drop the Catalyst to cap out the heart. And Duplication Potion on either, well, maybe just Wraith Form, and that should auto-win the fight. Yeah, turn 2 elites is like, that's a very real problem that we have right now. Elites is, I think elites, depending on the draws, of course, but I think the elites might be more difficult than the hard fight itself, considering all of our catalysts and stuff. To that effect, we could think about acrobatics to try to draw into Wraith Form quicker. We talked about this earlier, the catalyst upgrades are kind of whatever. We don't really care about them. Oh, we have bottled noxious fumes, by the way, so we know we're always getting poison on turn 1 to help remove artifacts. So with that in mind, if we upgrade After Image, it both deactivates Orichalcum right away and takes up 2 of our draws on turn 1. Even though it's a pretty good draw, don't think we want it. I'm thinking about this acrobatics to try to get the Wraith Form faster. Okay, well, almost none of this helps us. We take Discovery for the memes, but I believe we'll do a card remove here. Card remove with keeping in mind that card remove is equivalent to card draw as you're cycling through your deck. So not drawing something is drawing something else instead. And we have things that we're trying to draw into. And that's when I really like to start thinking about prioritizing card removes, is when you're trying to purposely draw into something, which is usually very early on in the game since your starter cards are so bad. I believe we do this. Remove 1 Stinky Strike. Shame we can't afford the unload. Well, maybe. Maybe. I think we're holding on to cards purposefully, like Wraith Form and our Catalysts and Piercing Whale, and so on. Okay. So turn 1 is terrible. Oh yeah, Imaginary Friend. I have a lot of them turned off, mostly for like newer players that drop into the stream and aren't familiar with like all the card art. But there's a few of them that I keep on just because they bring me joy. Like leg sweep. How do you not have the leg sweep beta art turned on? I just don't know. I don't know how I can live without this in my life. And spooky ghost form, of course. Beta art for Unload is also top 3. But yeah, turn 1 does not spark joy. You can pretty safely throw Backstab into the Spire Shield. We're always playing our Noxious Fumes here. Defend is going to be less block than just Orichalcum, so we don't play Defend. And then we hang on to probably Neutralize to turn next turn. Notably, you take 1 less damage if you turn around on turn 1. This goes from 12 damage to 18, so plus 6. This goes from 21 to 14, so minus, or 7. So plus 6, minus 7. Take 1 less damage by turning around on turn 1. But you have to keep in mind, the spear is always attacking you on turn 2 for a ton of damage, so you have to have a way to turn around. Otherwise, turn 2 can be the big sad. Deva Form is very good beta art. I mean, there's a ton of great beta arts. Like, not all of them are equal, but some of them are truly fantastic. Qualifying exams for what? So we talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but it's, in brief, it's currently for a master's or what could be for a PhD program. So it's kind of like that middle hump that you have to go through for those programs. I think we pass and say ouch. Ouch. Turbo beta art is very good. It's like Knight Rider. Is that what it is? I think. Can't remember. It's a car. I remember it's like the defect leaning against a car. In what field? I will very vaguely say biochemistry. Spooky ghost form. Yeah, the tail back here, the tail back here is the spine from this skull. Weird that it kind of twitches a little bit, though. That doesn't make much sense. Now, the real question here is, do you ever Bouncing Flask to try to get the weakness down? Or do we just do, like, Footwork Defend? EMP and MBA? That's the smart way to go about it. If I could turn back time. There's a song about that. Why does this turn spark so little joy? Because we have Wraith Form for subsequent turns, and I think we're close to being able to just play it next turn. So we can play Wraith Form. Just toss Neutralize, though. That's our 0-cost attack. We have orange pellets for Wraith Form. So we could Liquid Memories back the Neutralize here for a pretty big lock. And then defend. Otherwise, it's like 13 HP. And we go to 24 going to the hard fight, which we just potentially die on turn 2. Footwork plus defend is 8 block. Defend is 10. And we're planning on almost certainly using Wraith Form next turn. So we just want to take like as little damage this turn as possible. Yo, a good burp to you as well, my friend Zuthus. How many were there? So the format of the exam, it was pretty dense, but let's just say there were... I showed it off. I don't know where they are. I have a stack of papers. So they handed out 6 scientific papers released within the last... I think the oldest one was December 2019, so very recent publications. And they gave you 2 days to study them, and then on Monday you had to sit down and take the exam based off of those papers. So it was understanding the science, the methodology of the experiments, and stuff like that. So it gets a bit in the weeds to really explain it in great detail. But it's a weird thing getting to like a graduate school situation, because they have to test your ability to think, basically. Whoa. Let me finish my thought and I'll thank you very much. But thank you very much. They have to test your abilities to think, and that's a tricky thing to do, because if you can just sit there and study for an exam, most people can like do pretty well. So they try to like stress you out and make you learn a lot in a very short period of time to see if you could actually handle it. Dude, this 6 gifted subs for 6 papers. Well, there were 6 to begin with, and then... No, there were 6. Thank you very much, my friend. That's incredibly generous of you. Okay, good enough. Take 1. And congrats everybody who got the gifted subs. Nice to see some familiar names pop up in that pile there. Bloop. I need a cool sub sound. I've been thinking about this for a really long time. Still not sure what to do. Got accepted for their PhD program. Tell them to run. Run. Control Z. Control Z. Mario Master is lost. Hello? Hello? This is twitch.tv/FirstDane. What is this thing? Why does it look good? So good? Well, I don't really appreciate being called a thing, but I do appreciate the compliment, at the very least. Got him. Got him. Torino knows. Oh man. Just talking about my character. Well, there's maybe a real reason behind that. It's I do play the game at 1440p, I stream out at 1080p, so it's downsampled slightly, but with a high frame rate, no VSync, and a high pixel count, the game maybe looks a bit better, maybe slightly different than other streamers. I've heard some like weird things go on there. Ooh, a skip button. We got an ancient potion too. Ancient potion's pretty okay. If we fail to proc the pellets, could be a way out of that situation. I don't know, man. I can't help. I'm as lost as you are. Oh, why was in the Act 4 elites? Oh, I see. We're in the hidden Act 4 that you unlock at a certain point in the game. So those elites in particular is this elite fight here, and there's enemies on both sides of you. And depending on which one you're not facing, so the one behind you, it'll do 50% more damage. So part of the fight is like turning to face a certain enemy to take more or less damage. It's very unique. Game mode? Nope. This is in the base game since release, I think early 2019. So you have to go through and beat the game on all three characters, Ironclad, Silent, and Defect, to unlock the fourth act. And then you can go ahead and you have to collect these little emerald key pieces. One comes from an empowered elite, one comes from a campfire, and then one comes from a treasure chest. You collect them, and then that unlocks the fourth act for you, where you can go fight the heart. What about the other character? As far as I'm concerned, there's only 3 characters in this game. But that's another story. To not be confusing, there are actually 4 characters in this game. I don't want anyone else getting lost. Okay. No, the Watcher is perfectly fine. He's a fantastic character. Just not my preferred playstyle. So what's really nice about this hand is we have skills, attacks, and powers to proc orange pellets. So we could potentially just save our Ancient Potion for the Wraith Form turn. I think we save Neutralize for next turn. We get Noxious Fumes down this turn. Also have Horncleat for next turn. Which means we probably play Defend first, and then we can Envenom, Noxious Fumes. Maybe Backstab? Maybe? Just... yeah. There's certain art that I have enabled that's unlocked by beating the heart. So it's called the beta art. And I have a few of them turned on, so I like the leg sweep one quite a lot. There's this little checkbox down here. It turns it on. I'm gonna need to finish Dad's apple juice after that. Okay. I believe we want Footwork first, in case we draw like a block card next turn. And we could use Envenom as our power, since we're not getting any value out of it anyway. Oh, we could. Since Catalyst is our skill, we could Envenom, Backstab. I have definitely beaten the game. Many, many times. down to this backstab, and if I care about it. It's also down to whether or not I care about Envenom value, which I don't think I do. We have Duplication Potion and Catalyst Plus, like even a small stack of poison will be more than enough to put this at the damage cap. You could also Duplication Potion Wraith Form. This is cheaper with After Image. No, I think we want the draw. Are there any interesting breakpoints with Neutralize, though? If we have 14 block, it goes to like 47 damage, that's 33. But we have to play cards, so it doesn't actually math out, right? We can play this like next turn, and it'll be very similar. I think it's either that or we play it so we can get like 2 turns of draw, because I don't think we're playing it next turn or the turn after. So it sits around, and I don't like that idea. Okay, we'll get rid of it. Okay. It's a decent turn. It's pretty good. We have Piercing Well for next turn, so we... I think we strike for more draw, and I guess the poison application. We draw fine next turn, but it's the turn after that that I'm more worried about. That said, like, next turn's covered with Piercing Wail, so... This is our pen nib? I don't think that matters. And there is our spooky ghost form. You'd love to see it. So we want to stay above 11 HP, I believe. And then we should be fine with Orichalcum plus Wraith form. Now the sad thing is we did not pull into... what's it called? Bouncing Flask. I think we're fine to do Pot Catalyst this turn, though. It goes to 99. And then by the time we draw our next Catalyst, it's basically capped out. That causes us to take 6 Beat of Death. We go to 12. So that's... fine. Yeah, we have block cards to draw, too, right? Yeah. We draw 5, so we don't have to play this other stuff. Yeah. Do I do the daily climb? I do not. I have not done the daily in a very, very long time. Not really for any reason in particular, I just haven't. It's kind of like the dailies. Like, they're fine, but it's kind of the same mechanics over and over again. So once you learn those mechanics, it's just, yeah, it's the same thing over and over. Wait, did I think I did this right. So here's, no, because we have a defend too. Okay, this is fine. Hey, and deflect is here too. Cool. So this is the turn we were worried about when we hit the Wraith form here. We're still going to take 15 damage, so we would have to account for that. We have a 6 block from Orichalcum. We're going to take 1 after we play Wraith form, so we go to 11. So if we were to end turn right now, plus 6, we're at 17 HP. So we would survive this turn and next turn, meaning that the fight is, it's over. We cannot lose at this point if we just hit end turn. I don't even know I'm doing that. It's over. Sweet. Burn. It's not nice. Yo, GG. That's a good first run of the night. I was right, Spear and Shield were harder. Absolutely. Yeah. Quick 2.5 hours, but it wasn't 2.5 hours. We talked for like the first half hour, 45 minutes of this run about like taco trucks and stuff. So that was, it's the first run of the night. The numbers are inflated. Oops. Here. Anyway, good win. Yeah, it was not 2.5 hours. I'd say if anything, that was probably, it might have gone a little longer because we fought the awoken one, the bird with arms, the awakened one. I always call it the bird with arms. I'm trying to see, this is the problem when I try to call things by their correct name. I don't even know what they are anymore. The awakened one, which took quite a while. 13 turns. We had to think through some of those turns. Yeah, all in all, pretty good. Kind of standard. We kept the Ring of the Stake. Now, remember, if you weren't here for floor 0, we took a choose a card option on floor 0 and skipped the card reward. So we got nothing as a Niao bonus, basically, other than the skip on the card. So because we saw a card reward screen, that inflated our chances of picking up uncommon cards and rare cards. So we were able to pick up a Noxious Fumes on floor 1, which was huge for the entire run. We picked up Catalyst on floor 2, classic. Sucker Punch, Flying Knee, classic, whatever, boring stuff. We picked up a Wraith form on floor 8. Never saw another Wraith form again. Never saw another Noxious Fumes again. Saw a few Catalysts later on. But importantly, because we chose choose a card on floor 0, perhaps that was the difference maker in our ability to pick up uncommon and rare cards that allowed us to scale into the later game. As we saw, we got the Bottled Tornado and Noxious Fumes going on turn 1 every time. Well, Noxious Fumes came from floor 1, and we never saw another copy of it. So if we hadn't picked Noxious Fumes there, if we chose to take like Blade Dance as an early game attack instead, we would have been severely lacking in poison for the rest of the run. Now, that wasn't a guarantee. Blade Dance was probably a bit safer, but Noxious Fumes, we got Noxious Fumes to say plus on it pretty early on, I believe. Yeah, here, first campfire. That helped us with the slime boss, which was actually pretty quick. And yeah, all in all, super clean run. Only 16 relics, like not too much to work on here. This is definitely a quality over quantity situation though. Just, I wish I had the mod installed where I could see how much healing we actually got from Meal Ticket and Eternal Feather. Like, by the time we picked those up, we just never rested again. So much upgrading thanks to those relics. Yeah. And the Specimen actually had a huge impact on Donu and Deca, as well as the Shield and Spear. Pretty good. Good. Oh, and Orange Pellets, too. Honorable mention, Orange Pellets. No! No. We don't do that. No, I didn't. No, I clicked the defect. No. No, the game's broken. No, I've shown this before. My version's busted. I'm on version 2.1 from 7/24/2020. I don't know if you guys are on this branch, but it's like you go here and there's like it's an invisible wall. You can't pass. There's like a pixel here where you can't. It's so frustrating. Dang it. Dang it. 10 burbs for watcher stream? Wait, what's the opposite of burb? Hold on, wait. I've got one. Hold on. I need to click some things. Click some things. Here you go. The gray burb, the RIP burb is -1 burb. At least. That's the RIP burb. Exactly. No reason to report that bug. That's a good bug. That is a feature at this point.